Hello, thanks for joining me. This is Jessie, and this is my channel, The Caffeinated Bookworm. So, as you can tell, the allergies are still kicking my ass. I know I mentioned this on Wednesday's book deal video, and it is still going on. So, this is like my fifth or sixth cut. I just can't. I keep losing my voice, losing my train of thought because the pollen's in my head, and it's like, I don't know, stopping the synapses in my brain or something. I'm having a really difficult time thinking, understanding the information that's coming in through my eyes and ears, all that jazz. So we were outside all last weekend. We were putting up a pole. We tore down the pole that had been in my father-in-law's backyard for the last 25 years. We tore that down last year with the specific purpose of buying a new pole. Well, we did buy a new pole earlier this year, and it came in piecemeal over several months, and we are still missing the last piece, which is the cleaner filter thing. But we have the one from the old pool set up. But I don't know what we were thinking. I think we thought it was going to be like 5 or 6 hours of, I don't know, IKEA furniture building. No, it was over 20 hours of excruciating manual labor. John did probably 90% of the work, and I was still exhausted by the end of the weekend. So Monday I had to go out to Lewis Center, and as we're driving out there, I'm like, oh, look, why does it look like it's snowing in May? No, it was pollen, and I knew then I was going to die. So Tuesday, I wake up, and my nose is dripping all day long, a la the Blair Witch Project. And then Wednesday, I was sneezing in coffee, not coffee like caffeinated coffee, like I'm hacking up a long coffee. It was horrible. Thursday I called in. Yesterday I called in. I should have called in today also, but seeing as we have a 3-day weekend coming up, I couldn't in good conscience call in because it would have made me look like a complete and utter asshole. So I am still reading Memories of Ice. I am not even a third of the way through, which is why you don't have a 1/3 video for Memories of Ice yet. I really thought I was going to get a lot of reading done yesterday, but my head is so foggy that I had to keep rereading stuff, and then I kept falling asleep. I probably slept a good 9 hours yesterday during the day after I woke up from sleeping all night. So there's that. I'm still reading The Last Bookshop in London. I need to start I Am Watching You, which is the book that we have chosen for the book club at work for our June pick. And I don't know, how many pages do you think I can get in on a 3-day weekend? Because I need to finish Memories of Ice. I need to finish The Last Bookshop in London. I really need to get started with the I Am Watching You. And then on June 1st, I'm supposed to start reading Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, as well as Hyperion, and both of those I'm going to be buddy reading with David Wiley. And then also I'm supposed to start House of Chains because that's the scheduled start date for the Read Along with Mike's Book Reviews channel. And then I also wanted to start reading and finish Without Remorse in June so I can give it back to my brother-in-law because it's not my book. So that's fun times. Book Barbarian has sent out a lot more deals. They send out the book deals like every day, but today there's actually some gems. Genesis sounds like it's a good book, so I'm not going to run through the list of the book deals that they sent me because I've already done my book deal video this week, but I will put the books below in the description if you would like to check them out. BookTube is getting noticed. I got an email from Orbit Books with a link to Daniel Green's review of Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. And I was so excited when I saw that. I was like, oh my God, a publishing company is sending out links to BookTube. That's amazing. I wanted to ask Daniel if he knew that, but then it occurred to me that he probably did. I was so excited. I was just about jumping up and down. Well, then I think the next day, BookRiot sent a link to an article called The Past, Present, and Future of BookTube according to BookTubers. And they had links to a lot of different booktubers. They had Problems of a Book Nerd. They had With Cindy, Rincey Reads, Books and Quills. There's a lot of them. I will link the article down below. Speaking of booktubers, Paperback Junky is going to be starting a poetry class. Go check that out. I will link the video where he talks about it. And here's a quote from that poetry is not safe. Poetry should make you bleed. And I love that. I completely agree with that. Having been part of the all poetry community for a really long time, before I started backing away from that, I agree. Like, you get into these modes when you're writing poetry where you hold on to pain, probably a little bit longer than you should. So if you're interested, I'll have both the link to his video where he talks about it, as well as the link to where you can sign up for his poetry class. We all have bookish things, right? That should expand now to music that is written from a bookish standpoint. Go check out James Fetcho. I will link him below also. He has some songs written, influenced and inspired by Game of Thrones, The Dark Tower. He also has another one about a killer tornado. And as we know, I have an unnatural and strange and weird and creepy obsession with violent weather. I loved it. He's got some amazing guitar riffs and chords, and he's like, it's thrashy. Like, it borders on heavy metal, but he's got some other stuff on there also where he's not playing, with the edited. He's sitting there with his guitar and he's playing, and that is also amazing. I love listening to wordless music. So, like, Damien Escobar. I love Damien Escobar. He's one of my favorites. Javier Navarrete is another one. Lindsay Sterling, of course. E.S. Posthumous. There's just so many like instrumental playing groups and people that I will listen to, especially when I'm reading books. I don't like to listen to music with words in it when I'm reading books because it distracts me. I'm easily distracted. So there's that. That's really all I have for you this week with regards to books. I've been watching Seinfeld with John. I think I mentioned this before. Seinfeld is not funny. And now I think that not only is Seinfeld not funny, he's an asshole. We just watched season 3, episode 15. And at the end of that episode, he's talking about how people who attempted to commit suicide just failed at one more thing. How is this guy on TV for so long? Oh my God. So with Rules of Engagement, John and I started watching Rules of Engagement when it first came out, and it was funny to me back then. We watched the first couple seasons, and then I think we stopped watching. Well, then we went back and we binge watched it, and by the end of season 5 or 6, I hated everybody in Rules of Engagement. They were all assholes. I hated them all. But it took me 5 or 6 seasons to get to that point. And I think that their characters may have changed over the course of that, or maybe I just got tired of them or something. Except for David Spade. David Spade's character, I hated him the whole time. I hated him. But by the end, I even hated Timmy. But with Seinfeld, it took me less than 3 seasons. It might have taken me less than 2 seasons to absolutely hate everybody in Seinfeld. The most that I knew about Seinfeld before we started watching this together, and I think that John had watched like the whole series that's like throughout his life, and I know that it's one of those iconic series that everybody knows about. I just don't think that maybe as many people talk about it or as many people as have watched it, because he's not funny. Oh my goodness. So the most I knew about Seinfeld before we started watching this was the Soup Nazi, because I had seen that iconic Soup Nazi episode. And Kramer. I thought I liked Kramer before I started watching it. No, Kramer's an asshole too. I hate them all. Anyway, so how many pages do you think I can get in? Let's take a tally. Down below in the comments, let me know. Do you think I'm going to finish Memories of Ice this weekend? Do you think I'm also going to finish the last bookshop in London this weekend? Do you think I'm only going to finish the last bookshop in London? Do you think I'll start I Am Watching You and Without Remorse? How far do you think I'm going to get this weekend? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, like, and subscribe. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend.